bending these pieces, and we start realizing that the universe, as we know it, is this canvas of infinite potential and infinite potentiality. And particles within all of us, within everything, are oscillating and they're vibrating and they're shifting constantly. They're falling from being a particle to a wave to a wave to a particle. And if you don't know much about science, it doesn't matter. All you need to know is that they're fluctuating and they're changing, and they only take a certain form when you perceive the form that they take. When you observe the structure of reality to be a certain way, it responds to you as the reflection, and you effectively collapse all of that information into form. Now that can collapse into form that you think, well, my life sucks right now. I don't like the form this is taking. Or it can collapse into a really amazing form. A form of life where other people are like, how is your life this good and this bright and this brilliant and this shiny? Because the structure is not determined by anything outside of you. The structure of the matrix is determined by your own consciousness, your own capacity as an observer to connect and command the information to shift. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down, we can play with this illusion. We don't want to give the power away to the illusion. Be like, oh, we're just in an illusion. There's nothing we can do about it. We're actually creating the illusion. And we're all creating the illusion simultaneously together. We're all in an interplay and a deep interchange of information. And so when we start coming outside of the grids that have kept us within the same model, in the same box, of the same consciousness through our lives, that just keep repeating the manifestation of the exact same reality, when you step back from there and you realize that you're the architect of all of this, I mean, for me, that's true freedom, guys. That's true liberation. That's true manifestation. That's truly having the courage to connect with the essence of your soul, and every single day sit down and ask yourself, what do I desire to manifest in this illusion? And so I'm going to be breaking down a set of layers and formulas for you to play with now and to work with as we go deeper into this. And I wanted to start here around not understanding, but understanding has a different frequency, right? When you stand in the center of divine wisdom versus standing underneath it and giving your power away to it. So if we were to understand the quantum fabric of reality, you'll allow yourself to remember that the law of attraction is actually bullshit. And I'm sorry to say it, but some of you need to stop trying to attract things. Yeah. And you start to actually go in and, yes, focus on what you want, but you must learn how to recode the quantum field of information in order for it to appear in your life. Too many people are just focusing on what they want and telling themselves stories and then just hoping it will show up. But if you really realize that you are the architect playing with all of this information and you're able to shift it and recode it and recalibrate it through the quantum field, that is when you take your power back. And so we have this quantum field of information that is us and surrounding us and connected to all of us. And all of that information is constantly allowing ourselves to tap into a sea and a wave of infinite potentiality, infinite possibilities. And the quantum field is interacting with us as we're interacting with it. And it is responding to our consciousness. It's responding to our own frequency and our own vibration. And as you reflect back on your own unconscious structure and you go deeper within yourself, turning your consciousness inward, you realize that you're able to shift the interplay and the exchange of information that you're having with the quantum field. And at this point in time, you start realizing that all of this information can be played with, it can be bent, it can be stretched. We're going to talk about bending time a little bit today, because it can also be bent and stretched and played with. All of these constructs are malleable, right? And from here, this is where you can go, all right, well, if I want to play with all of this information and if I have full and complete access to all of it, I may as well architect my own reality. So when you start realizing that, you start realizing, well, what if I could alter the computer system? So just like a video game has underlying code and patterns of information, and certain formulas which are set up in order to make the video game work, our own unconscious structure operates in a very similar way that then interfaces with the quantum field of information. And so from there, when you go into the quantum field and you start connecting with the light and the wave patterns and the frequencies and the codes, you start allowing yourself to realize that simply by observing the information, you start dictating the experience that you're having with reality. And when I started playing with manifestation in this way, this is really where everything changed for me. This is where I started realizing, like, whoa, okay, if I can get in there and start to alter the computer programming system and interface and exchange very differently now from a new frequency with the illusion of reality, that's when things started showing up very quickly in my life, in every area of my life, because again, everything with the informational field is linked together. You don't have different quantum fields for love and money and relationships. It's all interconnected. And when you do this, and you start bending and folding and playing with all of this information, this is when divine synchronicities start to lay up in front of you. This is where people will turn to you and be like, how are you having these miracles in your life? And you'll probably step back and smile, and you'll just say, well, you know, I kind of understand now how to actually recode the computer system, right? And so as we go a layer deeper into this, we have the quantum field. We're starting to access all of this information. And as we go deeper into that, in our own personal field, we have what is called a quantum blueprint. Now, within that quantum blueprint, think of it like your own mini informational field, your own mini video game program, if you like, that is interconnected with the bigger one of the illusion of reality, okay? Now, as you go into that, you realize that this is where all of your more personal information is stored. And when you go deeper in and you look at your life, how much money you do or don't have in your bank account, the level of love you're receiving, your freedom, your connection to Great Spirit, God, the universe, all of it, in every area, all of that, through your illusional reality, is depicted directly from the coding in your quantum blueprint. So if we want to change that, we get to go in and change this. And as we do, we remember that once again, all of that information is also vibrating through the field of infinite potentiality and infinite possibilities. So it's a little bit like an architect, and many of you guys know my story that I actually studied as an architect many, many, many years ago, and now here I am helping you re-architect your reality. And so just like an architect might have a blueprint for a house, but from that blueprint rather, they can create multiple different versions of different houses by tweaking it and changing it and defining it. That's exactly what you do here. Now, how do we do this? We do this through your own consciousness. Your consciousness is the decoder. Your consciousness is the piece that goes in and alters this information. No one is going to do this for you. No healer, no shaman, no guru, no inspiring person on the stage. You and your own consciousness must go in and actually decode and recode this, right? Now, we can be inspired by coaches and mentors and healers outside of us, and that can help us have a shift in the consciousness, but never let yourself think that someone else is recoding your consciousness, because you are recoding your consciousness, right? And as you do this, it's almost like when you go in and there's a whole lot of information, and it's like your unconscious system doesn't quite understand how to make sense of it. Through working on your consciousness, which we're going to break down how to do today, you can start to decode this information so that you can shift your reality. When you shift your consciousness, you shift your perception of the structure of reality, and by observing the structure of reality a different way, the illusion of the reality reflects back to you in a different way, because it's all one and it's all interconnected. So it's almost like there's a decoder within you that's decoding hidden messages into a language that actually makes sense. Now, this is going on for everyone anyway, but are you aware of it? And are you actually working on this? And are you going deeper into this, right? And so as you start playing with this and as you start upgrading your own consciousness, this is when you start realizing that you have a lot of choice around where do you want to shift your consciousness to, and then what will you use that for. So this is where, when we bring this into manifestation, you realize that at every single moment, you have a new opportunity to completely shift your reality. And we do this through shaping what we desire to manifest in our life. Now, who's manifesting? Okay, well, yeah, you guys are all manifesting, but okay, let me ask that question a different way. Are you manifesting from your lowest self, unconsciously, or are you manifesting from the depth of your soul? Who's manifesting from the depths of their soul, by the way, or intend to? Yes. Right, and I'm happy you're all manifesting, by the way. Very good. So, as we go in and we do this, we realize that the pulsation of desire sends a very strong ripple effect through the quantum field of information. Now, the desire is important because it's your soul speaking to you. And if we were to decode that, when we feel a desire from our highest, I don't mean a desire like, I want to eat the whole chocolate cake now, not that kind of desire, right? But I cheer you up, and you're inspired by that, and you feel that vibration, and you're sitting there going, yes, okay, this is what I want from my soul. This is where you get to claim it. And just this piece can be checked through science. Are we conscious of it or not? So, once you've anchored your vision and you've tapped into your deepest desire, you can start to use the observer effect to start influencing the behavior of the particles of the quantum field of information. Now, at a particle level in the quantum field, the particles exist in a state of possibility, the information. So if we are sitting there thinking that we're separate from everyone else, from the entire world, thinking that we're separate from our manifestations, this creates an internal quantum blueprint of loneliness, of I don't have any help and support, of I'm just this separate being and I don't have any control or influence of the illusion of reality. It often creates a lot of fear, a lot of disconnection, and these are very normal things to feel because our society has made separation so normal. Enough. And when we go into this and we start transcending this illusion, we start realizing, hang on, we have access to all of this information. We start to awaken that interconnectedness between us, all beings, the entire structure of reality, and the interconnectedness between us and our manifestations. Everything is woven together through this field of unity. And so as we remember that, and we start realizing that, whoa, hang on, it doesn't matter how far away someone or something is perceived to be. It doesn't matter how hard my mind is making it, that it's a story that, oh, that must be really hard because that amount of money is so much bigger than this amount of money now. The quantum field doesn't care about any of that because all of this is non-local. Science will prove to you that particles interact with each other in a non-local way, where it does not matter how far away they are. There can still be an interaction of information, and particles in the future can still impact the particles here, right now, regardless of the distance. So this is very exciting, because all of a sudden, you're here now, and you have a soul's desire that's looking to anchor through you. And maybe through the construct of the matrix, you've said, oh, but it's going to take a really long time. That's really far away. If you're able to come out of that illusion, drop that away, and instead realize that everything's happening simultaneously and it's all one and it's all interconnected. And if you connect at a particle level through the decoder of your consciousness, and you allow the particles of your manifestation to start influencing and impacting your particles here right now, all of a sudden we start having quantum entanglement. We start having these particles of your manifestation starting to impact your particles here now. And we start blurring the lines and fusing that and bending the perception of the reality of that that's so far away and this is here now, and we come into the oneness and realize that we are our manifestation right now. And if we're able to connect with that and then command through the consciousness decoder that these particles of our manifestation now not just impact my particles of me right here, right now, but actually entangle with them, fuse with them, become one with them, so that all of a sudden you become your manifestation. I mean, be careful, because what you want might just show up in your life really quickly. If you've been in any of my activations, I'm always saying to you guys, I am my intention. You hear me? I am my manifestation. That's not just a pretty little sentence. I'm telling you, like, we are doing quantum entanglement. We are connecting with your future desire. We're bringing it into the now. We're allowing it to fuse and alchemize and become one. You're allowing yourself to remember that you can step out of this illusion of separation and from here surrender into realizing that whatever it is that you desire is actually seeking you. Not even seeking you, infused through you, becoming you, is you. Now, yes? So, as we continue this process and we connect with that future desire, and we allow this quantum entanglement to take place across time and space, we want to entangle even deeper with our desires. We want our desires to fuse and alchemize and become one with us at such a deep level where we're maybe not even perceiving that there is any more separation. We're going so far beyond the illusion of the separation that we're allowing ourselves to even have a physical embodied experience that our manifestation is here now. You literally become the manifestation. Now, how do we do this? We do this through our feeling body. You can't think your way to manifestation. You do this through your feeling body, through your emotional body, and through your energetic body. And as this quantum entanglement starts to happen, and as all of this information starts to shift and recalibrate, we're updating our personal quantum blueprint. And effectively, we're going into that blueprint, we're starting to rewrite the code. We're rewriting the code within the computer programming system of our own consciousness that our quantum blueprint is made up of. So as that starts to happen, and as we start to rewrite the code, and we start to remember that we have the power to rewrite the code. We have the power at any moment as a sovereign manifester to be like, you know what, I don't like how my blueprint is looking. I don't really actually like how my external reality feels right now. I can be grateful for it. I can be aware of it. I'm not going to bypass it, but it's time to make some changes from there. And so as we go in through the quantum blueprint and we start working with the codexes of information that are depicting our reality, this is how we do this. Firstly, through mental body programming. Now, positive thinking alone does not work. Again, you cannot think yourself into a manifestation. You are now hopefully seeing that there is so much more going on than just your thoughts and just your mind. However, we do need your thoughts and your mind on board, because your unconscious mind and your unconscious reality is extremely powerful. Think of your mind like a crystalline computer, and that computer is sending signals to the video game of the quantum field of information, and all of the codes and templates sitting within that quantum blueprint that you have personally. Now, either your mind is coding you or you're coding the mind. One of two things are happening at any given moment. So are you working with us? Again, you can't think your way to manifestation. Your energetic body must be in coherence. Every layer in your being must be in coherence to become a match for what you're looking to call in energetically. If it's not, we have decoherence in our system, and it's almost like within our own internal structure of our field, we have all these different musicians that are just playing whatever they want at all different times, at all different notes, and you're like, it's been off, it sounds terrible, right? We need everything coming into alignment and into vibrational coherence. So in order to update our energetic body, we want to make sure, again, also that it is running on the right software program. We want to make sure that we're bringing our energetic field into vibrational alignments, into vibrational resonance. You must feel the manifestation before it's here. You must feel what it feels like in detail before the manifestation shows up. Oh, but Regan, I don't know what it feels like because I haven't manifested it yet. How would I ever know? You tap into the feeling. Everyone thinks that you become a millionaire and then you feel like a millionaire. You don't. You become the millionaire first, from the inside, from the energetics. And you condition yourself around how to do this, right? Now, I'm going to go a little deeper on a point coming up around energetic conditioning and going a little deeper into that, okay? But just tag this when we go through that to put it back in this place as well. Because you must also, whilst you're conditioning yourself to be an energetic match and you're working deeply on your vibration, you must be looking for the decoherence. The fear, the worry, the self-doubt, all of that's, again, emitting a frequency, sending those waves through the quantum field of information, and it's blocking your frequency from matching to your manifestation. So, as all of this is taking place, we start going a layer deeper. And when you really do this work, and those of you who are in the Quest and in the Manifestation Mastery program, who here, by the way, is in either of those two programs, okay, so you guys know when you start going into these activations called reality. And you do this by starting to activate what I call your multidimensional senses. So everyone has all of their senses, their taste, their smell, their touch, all of that. And who here has had an experience where they felt something, but it wasn't there? Goosebumps, energy, felt like someone walked past you, but no one did. Who's heard something that just wasn't there, but it was?